Most Americans think that if we don't take care of ourselves by living a healthy lifestyle, that the medical profession will come to our rescue.
Right. Good luck.
And the majority of Americans believe that research is accurate without conflicts of interest and the answer in conquering disease. Really?
Well, that's really confusing, isn't it? Because they're really confused, aren't they? Because the research in this country has been shown to not be that reliable because of conflicts of interest. And we're looking at conflicts of interest that are widespread. We're looking at two-thirds of the research that's being funded comes from the pharmaceutical industry. You can't imagine them spending $500 million to get a drug in a place where it might be approved and then have it come out right or wrong for them. And then what you wind up with is throwing the study out. It's just economically a big process for them. So you can't trust what comes out.
But if research isn't the answer, then what is?
Well, we need to change the system so that it's different. If we want to try and have research that's good, we have to make sure that the research isn't funded by people who have conflicts of interest.
And maybe, too, it's not just about research. It's about living a healthy lifestyle and about prevention. And what about the psycho-spiritual aspects of it?
Well, those are all important factors that we don't really include in our educational system. And until we include them, we're going to have exactly the same situation we have. But when people who take a survey answer it in a way where they say that the solution to America's healthcare issues is to do more research now and to instruct Congress and Obama to fund it to a greater extent, that's a big mistake, because all we're going to get is more of the same. And we have already the 37th best healthcare system in the world, according to the World Health Organization. So we need to make some shifts there.
So in other words, if they give us more money for the research, we're just going to be
getting more information,
more unreliable research.
That's right. And it's not like it's all bad, but that's not the answer.
What we need to do is we need to clean up the conflicts of interest also.
Well, now you're talking. The American people think 78% of them think that if we improve healthcare through research and innovation, that we'll be just fine. But like you said, unless they take personal responsibility, it's not going to change the system one iota.
Yeah, America's been brainwashed to just think, leave the driving to us and trust.
Right. 70% of Americans think that if we have more science and technology and math and engineering, that's the answer too. And like you said, if we just train people to do that kind of life, they're not going to have the rest of it, the emotional and spiritual parts that are equally important.
So do you think that Congress will expand medical research? And if they don't, what will happen?
Well, that would be good business if they would do that, because it will spur on more money spent in research. There are more jobs. It will increase the business aspects of America. It'll improve the gross national product. It'll do a lot of things for the economy and not much for the people who need health care, and not much for the doctors who need reliable information in order to practice the best medicine.
Well, what would be the effects of cutting funding for medical research then?
Probably the economic part of it would be a disaster, because there would be less of an economic boost, and we're not in a time where we can afford that. And maybe we'd come to our senses. The most important thing would be if we woke up and realize that what we are doing is spending more money than any country in the world on healthcare by a factor of 50% at least. That's $2.8 trillion a year. And if we did things like lifestyle medicine, that amount would drop by 80%. But that's not economically in the best interest of the country. It's just in the best interest of we the people.
Well, what do you think about the research that they're doing on the vets?
Well, they're saying that the veterans aren't getting the research to serve them the way that they're entitled, and I would agree with that. But see, what we tend to do is we tend to treat symptoms rather than treat the underlying problem. And what's the underlying problem? War. We have too many wars.
So if we didn't have war,
then we wouldn't have vets who were sick. And if we had more skin in the game from people who declare war,
Like
for,
having Congress send their families to war.
if they go first, I'm going to like that a lot better than if they're going
And they
last.
might be a little more hesitant about being, about going to war.
Exactly. So this whole business of do we need more research in America in order to improve the healthcare system? The answer to that is definitely not the best way to spend money. The best way to spend our money, Vicki, is to try and educate people so they understand that lifestyle medicine and personal responsibility for
And
our health
prevention.
is about prevention. And that is the medicine of the future, which is like it was the medicine thousands of years ago when we didn't have all this technology. If we did that, we'd be making some strides that are huge forward.